Orleans Saints podcast, presented by Rouse's Markets. You'll hear from players, coaches, broadcasters, and writers that cover the NFL daily. The New Orleans Saints podcast starts right now. Here are your hosts, Erin Summers and Todd Graffanini.
Welcome into the New Orleans Saints podcast presented by Rouse's Markets. Erin Summers here once again with Luke McCown. We appreciate you being here all week, taking in your third practice today. This time was outside. Remind you of days back when you were here playing out there in the lovely heat.
Love the heat. Love the heat. I think it's an advantage. I really do. I played a lot of my career in the South. Most of my career, all of my career, just about outside of 1 year in Cleveland. So it's an advantage. When you get acclimated to it, even though we play in a dome, it's still something that you get used to doing. Getting the heat on the grass. Grass is a big deal. I know, like, everybody's like, what's the difference between turf and grass? Mm-hmm. The way your body responds to a practice on grass as opposed to on turf is a big deal. I know technology's come a long ways. Fans don't want to hear about this, I guess, but technology's come a long ways with regards to the field turf and the surfaces that we get to play on. But grass, there's nothing like it. So being able to be on the grass is good for the players. Yeah,
I remember at times last year they would move to the grass because the players were asking for it because it's easier on your joints and your body. The turf can be a little bit tougher, a little bit harder to run and play on. So understand that for sure. And we were just talking about the schedule in general, how it's 2 afternoon practices and then a morning practice, which you said you think is going to be what the regular schedule will be for this season, to allow players a little extra time on Friday.
Yeah, typical in-season schedule is usually Wednesday, come in, team meeting starts at 8 o'clock roughly. You have meetings till 11ish or noon. You get the game plan. First and second down is generally the meal that you receive for the day as far as the game plan goes. And then onto the practice field from 1:30 to 3 or 1:30 to 3:30, whatever it is. And then post meetings, workout, get out of here. That's generally pretty consistent Wednesday and Thursday. Thursday is more blitz and third down. Friday is red zone. But Friday tends to be what they call Fast Friday. And so meetings are shorter in the morning. Get onto the field around 11 o'clock. Get your work done on the field, run through red zone, goal line, and then maybe your openers. And then get off the field and allow the players to get their rehab done, cold tubs, the body work that they need done to get ready for Sunday morning. So today was a lot more like what I believe a typical in-season schedule, practice schedule will be for these players.
And then the day in between what would be Saturday, regular season, this week it is Friday, will
Correct.
Be the walkthrough.
Will be the walkthrough. They'll go through. If Kellen does it similar, most places do it very similar. It'll be a walkthrough. It'll be your openers. It'll be some contingency plans. It'll be a walkthrough 2-minute drill. You'll review your final 6 plays, your sideline plays at the end of the game, and then work your substitutions. All the different things that come with substitutions, especially at this time of year when you have 90 guys on a roster and you're trying to get evaluations done on everybody before cuts have to be made next week. So you'll walk through all those situations, make sure everybody's ready to go. And then travel if it's a travel day. So that's a typical Saturday.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned cuts in there. We had a trade earlier this week, another one. They acquired Devon Vele from Denver yesterday.
Yeah.
Supposed to be getting in the building today. Didn't see him out there on the practice field yet. Obviously, he's got to go through physicals and get cleared and everything like that as well. But that pickup for this team, knowing that he's coming in 6'5", he was a 7th-round pick last year out of Utah, 475 yards, 3 touchdowns, played in 13 games, but it seems like he was in the running to be a top 3 receiver in Denver this season.
Yeah, I think it was a really good trade. It was a position of need, not necessarily numbers-wise, but body-wise and size-wise. When you stand at practice and you look out across the field at our receiver room, it's a very dynamic group of guys that can run, they can change direction, they have speed. We got two of the faster receivers in the NFL with Rashid Shaheed and Brandon Cooks. What we lack is a big target, whether it's necessarily from the tight end group, like a joker, like Jimmy Graham was for so many years, or a Marcus Colston, a big body that's going to go up, and over the top of linebackers or safeties and physically take the ball out of the air. That becomes a really big deal on third downs and red zone in particular. Yesterday we had a red zone practice, and felt like the defense did a really good job coverage-wise, maybe for that very reason. As a quarterback, when we stand 12-yard line, 18-yard line and in, and we work the back of the end zone, we want to throw balls towards the back of the end zone about the height of the goalpost, which is just 10 foot or so. We need guys that are going to go up, right? We talk about back shoulder throws being helmet or higher, shoulder pads or higher. And in order to be really effective at those things, you got to have a big body. You got to have a 6'4", 6'5" guy that's going to go, above the rim, as it were, to get the ball. And I think he does that. 41 receptions last year for a 7th-round pick. That's nothing to sneeze at. That's a big deal. And I think I saw somewhere that would have ranked, I think, in our top 3 in terms of receptions last year. So that's a big deal. It's not, I know everybody goes, well, 7th-round pick and this and that. I think he's a good player, and I think it was a great trade for us.
Yeah. You mentioned yesterday's practice, and there were a lot of balls that were flying high out of the back of the end zone. So it's interesting that you brought that up, and what he might be able to provide there is somebody that you can count on there in the red zone, the goal line situations. Aside from the receivers, we had talked about maybe needing to add a bigger receiver out there. What are some other areas of need that you think are still question marks for this team?
Yeah, I mean, I think they would. Obviously, Foster Moreau is dealing with an injury. I think another athletic tight end body would be helpful. I think they're going to be good in the run game. They're going to be asked to do a lot in the run game, and as far as run blocking goes. I know Jawan, he's a pass-catching tight end. He's going to get out on the edge. He's going to be targeted in terms of who we're trying to get the ball to in that room. But another big physical body that can really create problems when we go into 12 personnel is always helpful. Tight ends are very versatile people, and I know Taysom is still dealing with an injury. There's opportunity for him to come back, and so he's kind of that Swiss Army knife to have a description that's kind of overused for him, but
very accurate though.
Very accurate, and so but I think that's kind of the one thing that that's always useful is a guy that can be a body mover in the run game and still be a threat to catch passes when you get into 12 personnel. It matters because you get defenses into a base look. You get them to play with 3 linebackers on the field. And that usually simplifies the defense for the quarterback. It allows you to be very effective in your run game and still have a good chunk of your playbook open in the pass game when you have versatile tight ends like that. For years, when I was here, we had Benjamin Watson and Jimmy Graham, guys that could, Josh Hill, guys that could get it done in the run game, but man, you could throw the ball to them and it was going to be an effective play for you. And so I always think that tight ends always are valuable. They're good in special teams. They can run down on kickoff. They play a number of different roles just because of their body, just the type of body they are.
Right.
So I always think that that's an area of need, and it may not be a need, but it's an area that you can always go, we could use one more of those.
Sure.
Defensive line is something that I think is kind of like the tight ends. These guys are athletic. They're going to, you're going to have rotations that come in and out. So we just traded a D lineman away. So I think a D lineman, another dynamic rusher, run stopper, especially in the middle, guys that can, that nose in a 3-4 is such a vital position. He's got to be an anchor. He's got to be a run stuffer. And so, I'm always on the lookout for those types of bodies that can provide depth and reps for us, just in terms of size and athleticism.
We haven't talked about the quarterbacks yet, and I feel like that's the hottest topic. Everybody wants to know what's happening there. So for you, we've gone through what each provide between Spencer Rattler and Tyler Shuck. How important is the win for you? Like when the starting quarterback is announced?
Yeah, I think it's important, but I think it goes the other way when you force it and you don't really know yet. Like if you're, and I think when you talk to Kellen and he goes, hey, listen, we're not just holding it close to the vest so that nobody knows. Like we're trying to see, like we're trying to make the right decision. I think that's more important than how quickly we can make sure our team recognizes, hey, this is our guy and we're getting behind him and all those other things. If you miss on this, or if you, let's just say, if you send a young guy in that's not ready for it, that can be damaging for, number one, your draft pick that you picked in the second round, and then the young player and his development. So I'm with them when they go, hey, we want to make sure that we've got the right guy, more than hey, we need to hurry up and make this decision so that everybody knows the direction that we're going. So I'm with Kellen when he says that. Obviously, if it's clear and dry, sure.
Yeah.
But cut and dry, sure, go ahead and make the decision. I don't think it is. I think Kellen is genuine when he says, I just don't know yet.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. That means both guys have been executing. You've seen a lot from both players. If Spencer has a good day, you see Tyler level up, and if Tyler has a good day, you see Spencer level up. And so they're competing, they're pushing each other that way. I think at the end of the day, I think, in my opinion, I don't have a crystal ball. I haven't talked to Kellen. I don't know. I think Spencer's got a leg up. That's my opinion. The way that he operates, how quickly he operates, the adversity that he's already been through, going all the way back to Oklahoma and South Carolina, coming out of high school, number one recruit, all this other stuff, getting benched, all the things that he's experienced.
Well, the situations he got thrown into last year.
Exactly. And so I like that. I like a guy that's got some battle scars and shown that he can handle it. And so for me, that's who I expect. I might be way off. That's who I expect to be named the starter.
Well, Coach Moore said that it would come before they play the Cardinals. We will know by then. I think that they will want that entire week to run through things with whoever their starter is with the ones. So obviously that makes sense. We'll hear maybe, I don't know if it'll be right after the game this weekend, if it'll be something we hear next week, but we'll know before Arizona week. Yeah, for sure. When you think about naming that starter, how much is it still a job that they have to keep?
In this situation, it's very much a real thing.
Yeah.
Now, it may not be as much on how he performs, though his performance may be an indicator of how the season is going. Sometimes you're playing well and it's not translating to wins in the win column, and so hey, it's just time to kind of go ahead and start playing for the future. And so when you are named the starter, I've been there. 2011 opening day starter in Jacksonville. Go in, win the first game against Tennessee, play really poorly against the Jets the very next week. And it didn't matter that we started 2 undrafted wide receivers. It didn't matter that our best tight end, Mercedes Lewis, wasn't there. None of those things mattered. There was a number 1 pick in Blaine Gabbert sitting behind me. And so sometimes it's just a matter of, it's time to get this guy in the game. We want to see what we've got with him. We've got future decisions to make regarding the team as a whole. And so, I don't necessarily think that it's when you become the starter, when you're named the starter, that your concern is to keep the job. It's just to go out and win. Yeah. Just provide sparks for the team and win.
Right. I mean, you can't get too far ahead of things.
Right.
And I think both quarterbacks have said that they got to take it one play at a time, control what they can control. They know that the job isn't going to be won in one snap,
Yep.
one rep. So we'll see how it continues to play out this weekend. When you do look at the Cardinals game and getting into the regular season, what are you most looking forward to seeing kind of play out for this team?
Yeah, I'm really excited for our defense. I've said it before. I've had a ton of respect for Brandon Staley for a long time. The defenses that he runs, I hated playing against a 3-4 defense as a quarterback. It creates nightmares in terms of protection, especially when you've got pass rushers that can drop and play in coverage. I think we've got athletic edge rushers that can do those things. And so when you have a defense like that that's very multiple in its sets, with dynamic rushers on the edge in Cam Jordan and Chase Young and Foley and a number of guys that can do it from the edge, as a quarterback, your number one project through the week is going, how are we going to protect our pass game? Mm-hmm. How are we going to protect this look? How are we going to solve this problem with regards to this overload or this mug or what have you? And Staley's defense presents all of that. So I know there's a lot of talk about our run defense. It wasn't very good last year. I think it'll be vastly improved this year. I think we've got the bodies to handle it up front. Your run game is about taking up space in between the guards and then freeing up linebackers like DeMario, like Warner, those guys to go and make tackles. Mm-hmm. That's what they're paid to do. And so you're not necessarily – you're asking guys to stuff holes for sure with your defensive line, but you're really asking them to take on the double teams, take on the hits so that you free up our linebackers to move and scrape and go make tackles. I think we'll be better in that area this year. So I'm really excited for our defense.
Yeah. I mean, you said that people might be surprised this year. Expectations aren't the highest right now for the team. They are going through a rebuilding phase here. New quarterback after Derek Carr retires, new coaching staff, a new defense for the first time in a long time. So it will be interesting to see what happens. But before you get out of here, we did let you sit down with one of your old teammates in Brandon Cooks. So you guys had a great chat, and I want to play that interview now for our viewers and listeners.
I'm here with Brandon Cooks, year 12, back in the Dome. What keeps you going, bro?
Oh, man, I think the ultimate thing is just really feel like I've been given a gift. And my calling is not only to go out and make plays, but lead young men. And it makes it no better than I got a young receiver group. So I really feel like I'm fulfilling my calling on just being that vet, that leader for some of these young guys.
Yeah, I can remember back to 2014, and myself and Ben Watson, we were sitting in a meeting room in Detroit.
Yep.
And you walked in and sat down and said, hey, would you guys kind of take me under your wing, disciple me, teach me about this thing called life in the league?
Yep.
Who's that guy for you here?
Oh, I would say for myself, it has to be she, no doubt about it. Really my whole group, that, like I said, they so young, CO as well. Those are the two guys that I really feel called upon to kind of pass that knowledge along to, for sure.
I love it. What is intriguing about this team? Everybody talks about as a new coach, Kellen Moore, young guy, energetic, offensive mind, really high ceiling, all the things, right? Yeah. And they want to compare it to the Sean Payton era.
Yeah.
What are the similarities that you see that's going to make Kellen Moore a really, really special coach?
Yeah, I think first and foremost the way that he pushes us to play fast, but his ability to see something. Like you really see it going on in practice. He sees something that we may not game plan for that day, but his ability to go and really draw something up. That right there, Coach Payton, I remember vividly doing often in games. So to be able to see that, I guess, from a younger coach, it's pretty impressive. So
yeah, he's definitely got that
draw it up in the dirt.
That draw it up in the dirt.
Kind
of that swagger to him. All right, I'm gonna transition here and let you talk a little bit about the defense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Brandon Staley.
Yep.
Has a track record of being confusing on the defensive side of the ball. You're a veteran wide receiver. You read as you run in coverage. What do you see from that defense that's going to cause fits this year?
Yeah, I think you said it. His ability to be able to disguise and and be able to confuse the offense. And in fact, the offense may think they got one type of coverage going on, but its ability to get guys in places post-snap is impressive. Like I said, not only being a head coach, you see them do that, but also being a defensive coordinator in other places. To be able to use his pieces throughout the defense to be able to make plays and take the ball away is going to be great too.
Absolutely. Okay, so you were fortunate enough to not only play with myself, but play for two all-time greats in Drew and Tom. And everybody wants to know about the quarterback battle, the quarterback competition. What do you see out of a young guy like Tyler Shuck and a young guy, still a young guy, and in his second year in Spencer Rattler?
I think the ability to go out there and compete and stay focused on the task at hand has been great. Obviously, you can get in a position like that and worry about what the next guy is doing, but they're building one another up and going out there and handling what they can handle and letting everything take care of itself.
Really appreciate everything that Luke did while he was here in town. He was a great addition, adding a lot of insight, and it was fun to hear him sit down and talk to one of his former teammates and one of our current wide receivers, who is welcoming Devon Vele into that wide receiver room. Another option, and this one, a little bit bigger target. 6'5", as mentioned, head coach Kellen Moore said the size aspect of that wide receiver room was something that had been discussed from the beginning of camp, but it wasn't something they were trying to force. This came up and was a good option for the team, and they went and got somebody who had a really productive season last year. As for the game on Saturday against the Broncos, it will be quarterback Spencer Rattler who starts in that one. It does not indicate that he is the starter for this team going forward. It's just how the rotations have played out and who will get the first snaps on Saturday. From there, he did allude to the fact that several other starters will be playing in that game on both sides of the ball. So that's going to be something fun to look forward to for this weekend's game on Saturday, 12 o'clock. That is at the Superdome. So come out, enjoy some Saints football. Last look at what things are like in this training camp preseason format before it all turns to the regular season play and to that first game against the Arizona Cardinals. Thanks so much for listening on the New Orleans Saints podcast. You can get this wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to subscribe so you will never miss an episode.
Thanks for listening to the New Orleans Saints podcast presented by Rouse's Markets. Join us 3 times per week on NewOrleansSaints.com, the Saints mobile app, or you can download the podcast on iTunes. We'll see you next time, right here on the New Orleans Saints podcast, presented by Rouse's Markets.